Hello, this is the third time and now it looks like we've got audio. I don't know how good the audio is, I'm really sorry, but we are working on it. So, I'm in OBS today and now I can start sharing my screen and we can talk about some other stuff. So welcome to Entry 5. A little bit about the channel, about what I'm talking about. We'll kind of go over it in a minute, actually. So let's just go into what I was going to go into. Okay, so this is the website that I built to essentially make everything, make myself accountable for everything. It's the combination of lots of working on to-do lists and working on what I want to do and figuring it out and letting things go and letting them come back over many years. And what I've realized over the last 5 days about all of this is that for sure I have to do all of these, and even if they're not the thing I end up doing anymore, like I just do them and then they're done, that will be great. I don't know if this is going to fit, but it's kind of I use the deathbed analogy. I don't want to be, if I, an analogy, a hypothetical. I don't know whether I'll be lucky enough to be on a deathbed and be looking back. But if I was, these are all things that I wish I just would have done. So I'm going to do them, and some of them have been there for over 20 years. I say that a lot, but it's ringing in my ears too. So a lot of it doesn't work, or it's just not kind of tracking effect right or anything like that. But essentially, I've put it here as I've got net income, not me income, which is what I would call slave income. It's not accurate, but it's close to my baseline budget, and we'll get that figured out. And then you've got me income. Now I'm not approaching this one-way ticket with trying to make money from it, any of these things. Why? Because every time that I have done is completely ruined those me things. So I'm not going into it doing that. It doesn't mean that I'm not business-minded, in the sense that I see business as an art form and as an engineering problem, and there will be, if there are any opportunities to make money, then I think it would be great to be able to make money and remove the slave money and have money come in from being me, but it will happen as a byproduct. None of these have make money in them, none. So, and I will follow them all, and we'll see whether this changes. And the whole idea is accountability. It's also making it, I put these things out in lists so many times, and the idea is to make them more dynamic. I am going to create a little mini CMS for this, so I can log in and just check boxes and add things really quickly, and it's away from any other CMS or away from any notes app. It's just what it is, and I feel like that keeps it a lot more focused, because this is all about focus, is getting these things, not getting them done, but actually doing them. So let's look a little bit. So each one of these is a core category of interest to me, and these are all things that have been of interest to me for most of my life. Our base is actually the one-way ticket, the whole thing, so we can go and have a look at that quick. So when I first made the website, I hadn't launched this channel or anything yet, and essentially here's my checklist. Eventually I'll get the history tracking, so it will track whether I've missed my deadline, and various other things, so that I can kind of look a year after and say, like, how was my one-way ticket journey been going, and kind of look at it, and maybe it will give me some insights into where I think I am and where I actually am and things like that. So back to the board. So we've got Flow Ethic, which is hard to explain what it is, but it's kind of a brand. It's kind of my personal philosophy. It was a realization that came to me a long time ago, and yeah, I've always wanted to get some stuff on clothes that are what I call kind of codes of reality, things that you kind of, those full body realizations that I've been having all my life, and just put them onto clothes. And Flow Ethic it's a deep one for me. I have what I'm starting with is a core set of essays that explain and just talk about what Flow Ethic is to me. You got health. This one, so I'm not going to go into all these, and I need to go through them and really make them what they should be. I did this all in a morning, and I'm trying not to be too precious about things rather and just keep things going. So we've got health tracking, which I need if I'm going to be able to do this, because otherwise without tracking I'm not really going to be able to show progress or prove progress to myself. The things that I have on my list are really more like be 95% without pain, generally in pain, my shoulders, my neck and my back, so I would love to be out of pain, and I want to be have more stamina, and essentially that all leads into the Skate Ready, which is skateboarding arc. And all these things will be arcs in their own right, but they'll all bleed into each other as well. Let me just check I'm still recording. Yes. So Skate Ready, again, I don't want to make it too measurable. I'm not a measurable person, even though this makes me look like I am. But I'm trying to I will be trying constantly to make this as organic as possible. But what also I've found is that, it's not happening in the way that I want it to. But all of these things have been progressing most of the time, but just little bits. And I found that putting it all out like this really helps to take the pressure off, or to make it more signal than noise. But yeah, so Skate Ready, that's hard to say. How are you skate ready? Well, I'll know when I feel it. I'm not going to be too... What have we got in here? Yeah, follow the protocol, which I've been working on, nutrition protocol. Training and strength, doing a little bit, same with the VO2. Can't do a dead hang at the moment because one of my shoulders is impinged, so I can only hang on one arm. This is what I was thinking, is measure the range of angles, like the splits and where my shoulders can move back to, arms and stuff, and start tracking that. So yeah, again, I think Skate Ready almost started to be tracking too. So we got home, stuff around the home, stuff for the family, stuff, the very core of life really is in home. Music, release some. Been making music it's on and off, but for a very long time. I should have released 20 years ago, the odd 20. Returned to skateboarding, stopped skateboarding when I was about 21, I'm nearly 40. If I don't do it, and I just want to pick up close to where I left off. I'm not trying to jump down massive steps or do handrails, but I've got some skate left in me, and I really just want to grab that last bit before I hit an older age where I might not be able to do it. So big one. This one at the moment. This is the actual core arc at the moment, as well as home. Home will always be the core arc. Skateboarding is currently competing with that, but yeah. So we're on that, and then software. Software's quite a new one for me in a way, even though I've been writing code for a really long time. I mostly wrote websites, applications, but an application just around client work that I wasn't interested in. A couple of years back, I started writing a DAW in JS, and it really sparked this other side of code for me, and I was completely obsessed. I'd still love to make it, but I just would have to dedicate my entire life to it right now. But these two, Context Engine and SmartNotes, are much deeper connected to who I am and what I want out of software for me and the way that I think. So yeah, that's why I'm building those two. So I'll just go on and have a look at what this looks like on the back end. So essentially this is Obsidian and this is Launch, and you've got your meta, and then you've got your checklist, and that is this. So it's all coming from Obsidian. So right now Obsidian is my CMS. It's on Cloudflare Pages, and there's just a little build script to put it all together. So it's using Tailwind, as you can see, blah blah blah. So yeah, hopefully I make a CMS for this that makes it more like I just go to the one-way ticket, and it'll know I'm logged in, and I can just kind of add new things and check things off as I'm here. And I can keep Obsidian, which generally I use Obsidian. I've got it set up so that if I create a new note, it'll create a note at the timestamp, and I write in jots, and then I just keep writing in jots, and that's doing something else, and I just want Obsidian to stay like that for now. That's part of the SmartNotes thing. Okay, so that goes into so I'm hoping that this will become a hub for my accountability and my stuff, and I don't want it in anywhere else. I want it as this separate thing that's got its own history and is fully public. Now, just the last thing is, there's there's a part of this that isn't, it's part of the one-way ticket that isn't website, that isn't tracked or anything like that, and that is that spiritual thread through everything, which I have a one-way ticket category on within as well. But I'm not going to put that on there, but we will talk about it. Okay, that's just a load of ramble. I feel like I want to talk about other stuff, but it's not coming. So thank you for your time, and I hope that was somewhat interesting.